Hello and welcome to Market Insights. It's a Monday, the start of a new week, and it's a busy day as usual. So today on the program, we are focusing on the stock market's performance over the past week, which is last week from 15th April to 19th April. And recently, the outcome of the week ending Friday, 19th April saw a decline of 2.71% at the stock market. The Nigerian Exchange Limited All-Share Index ASI and market capitalization depreciated by 2.71% to close the week ended Friday, April 19th at 99.539.75 points, and which means 56 trillion naira 202.96 respectively. So now we're going to be discussing on the program the reason for this drop, and market analysts point to several factors that could have contributed to the decrease. Now, one potential reason is profit taking by investors who may be locking in gains after a period of strong performance. Additionally, concerns surrounding a specific company or sector could have triggered a broader sell-off. Now, the impact of this is that investors who hold stocks in the affected sectors would have seen a decrease in their value of their portfolios. While a week-on-week drop is certainly noteworthy, it is important to remember that stock markets are cyclical. So what that means is that while short-term fluctuations can be unsettling, long-term investors tend to focus on fundamentals and stay invested for the long haul. So we're going to continue to monitor the market's performance. Sometimes it might be good, it might close on a positive note. Sometimes it might be closing on a negative note. So we're going to keep you updated on any other significant development. So my guest this morning is Mr. Olanrewaju Lawal. He's a chartered stockbroker, a commodity broker, and he's also the Chief Risk Officer at Trustline Capital. So welcome to the program, Mr. Olanrewaju. Okay, we're happy to have you here and to talk about the significant drop at the capital market last week ending Friday, 19th April. So now this significant drop to 2.71%. Now, in the context of the market, what kind of recent performance will this be? I know it's on a negative outlook because it's a drop, but can you shed more light on it?
Yeah, the reason why the market keeps dropping is because of the, I can say, banking sector, because the recapitalization of the banking sector actually affects the price market. You know the market is volatile, and the market is driven by information, economic factor, and speculation. So once we're talking of speculation, people go out there to give information about the market. It actually affects the market to drop on a negative position. Having said that, the corporate action, which is the dividend being declared, the market was supposed to have been on a positive position, but the dividend declared was not the expectation of the investors. And more so, the profit takers were there, which they have logged in when the prices were down, and now they have taken their profits. So the market keeps dropping because there is no any economic factor or speculation that will drive the market. The banking sector, like I mentioned, that they are looking for their recapitalization, which was divided into three, like the national, the international, like that. I don't know their figure. I think the international is 50 billion. That is what the recapitalization is. So the banking sector is trying to make sure that they meet up with the recapitalization. So the expected corporate action, which was supposed to be declared by them, they did not, because they want to do what? They want to save money in order to meet the capitalization. That makes the market to drop further.
Okay. So yes, so you're blaming it on the banking sector. Yes, recapitalization could have caused this significant drop in the market. Okay, well, apart from that, what other companies, yes, we know that means the market closed on a somewhat negative note. So what other companies could have also influenced this decision? Like
the recent resignation of the First Bank MD is one of the factors too. So if you're going to see, the market is going to react to that today, because the MD resigned, and speculation, like I told you, people will start going on because they are not an insider. They don't know what really happens, but they keep on going with a rumor that maybe it did not. So the market will react to that. So there may be a drop in the shares of the First Bank as well.
Okay. Okay, so were all sectors affected equally by the drop, or some were more impacted by others?
Some are more impacted by others, not all. But if you look at it globally, if you look at it holistically, the big companies which are, so let me say, the big companies which are supposed to gain more, they were dropping as well because of, if you look at the electricity now, the tariff has been increased.
Yes.
And most manufacturer companies believe in production. So what they cannot even break up with their overhead. So all this affects the share market. The reason is because they are going to pay overhead, and all of this is affecting the market negatively. So the share price cannot even go up.
Okay. But apart from the banking sector, I also heard recently that Dangote Sugar Refinery and Dangote Rice are supposed to come together to form a merger, but that didn't take place. So do you also think these factors also contributed to that?
Sure, it is.
Yeah, because I'm sure investors will also want this merger to happen so that they could actually buy shares of the combined companies, but due to this, it didn't happen at all, and definitely it will impact on how the markets will fare this new week that we're entering.
Exactly.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on this, please?
Well, because the merger was not concluded because of many factors, and these are insider information. That is the reason why it was not concluded. And believe you me, like I said, the market drives by speculation. There are some speculation that has been going on that the moment they merge, there are some investors which are actually positioned themselves in order to acquire these stocks to make more profit. But this does not happen because of insider information, like I told you. Now it's affecting them negatively, and that is the reason why the market keep dropping and the shares price keep dropping.
Okay, now in this new week, actually, we can't really predict things, but we can just make some informed decisions or some very intelligent guesses. Now, how should investors approach the short-term volatility? Should they be concerned about the long-term outlook of how the markets will trade this week?
Thank you very much. You see, in risk factors, there are some things you need to consider. We have some people who are risk takers and we have some people who are risk adverse.
Yes.
So if you are coming to the market, most especially if you understand how the market works,
yes,
it makes it easy for you. Going to the market, you have to consider your risk. So you coming to the market as a risk taker, you need to go for the low income stocks and buy them and make sure you get out at when you make your profit. And one thing you need to set out again is you don't have to be greed. I use the word greed because some people, the market goes up 10% and come down 10%. Actually, if you are there by 7%, you're supposed to get out of the market. But some people will say, oh, I want 200%, where the capital, what we call paper profit. You are making your profit and you are not getting it out. So by the time you want to get out, the market comes down again, so you are not making a profit. So you have to set your goal as per when I'm going to exit from this market. Coming to your question for this week, there is tendency that the market will react positively due to some factors, but it is under speculation. There is no certainty in it. As you know that our market is not a place where we gamble. We based on fact and figure and research, and information drives the market. So you coming to the market, I believe you should know the integrity of the market, how it works. So you are not coming to the market because you want to come and, how do I put it, you want to come and take profit immediately. We have long time and we have short time. Who are the people that were supposed to trade in the short time? Are those people with the age of bracket of 18 to 30. Those who want to marry, those who want to have a building, want to buy a car. So you are risk taker. They are risk taker. I call them risk taker. So they are ready to buy the stock at any price. Either they make a loss or not, but they don't care. But you cannot tell me a man with a man that has retired at the age of 70, you want to go and take risk for him. That is not fair. The only thing you can do for such is dividend paying stock. Those are the stock that is recommended for people who have retired, so that they could enjoy their dividend and their capital will still be intact.
Okay. Now we've all seen the recent drop. Now, do you think it should be seen as a correction or the start of a longer-term bearish market?
A longer-term bearish market.
Oh, really? Okay, because you said we're going to see a positive outlook this week, so I was thinking more of a bullish market.
It's a bullish market. Like I told you, that our market is a market that is well structured. It is based on research and fundamentals. Okay. Because I said the market may, look at my English, the market may react positively. I did not say the market will react positively. May, depending on the factors and the information they have and the economic factors that are affected. Look at recently, the governor and our president appointed the new DG of SOUQ and appointed the chairman and the board. That may make the market again react to that, because I told you our market is volatile. Yes. We react to information that we have there. So the information you have in the market is very, very important. To that SOUQ DG, I think that may affect the market positively.
Are there any concerns about the health of specific companies or industries that might be dragging down the broader market? Like I mentioned earlier on, the merger between Dangote Sugar and Dangote Rice that didn't take place. So do you think any other companies might be affecting the market?
Yeah, like if you look at the banks, look at between GTB and guaranteed the GTCO and Zenith, you can see the corporate transfer that was declared, while Zenith's declaration was more than the GT owned, and you can see everybody, most investors now are dropping GTCO for Zenith. That can be another determining factor that will affect the market because most investors want to take profit. So nobody wants to lose. Look at what what GTB declare. They've been declaring almost the same dividend for years ago, but this year I don't actually have this fact that maybe they have internal issues or whatever that made them to declare such dividend. So therefore, it will affect the market because the dividend declare, the investors, what do we call it now? The investors' expectation they did not meet. So that may bring a sharp drop in GTCO more. So it can affect the market.
So just with the banking sector, what about with the energy sector actually? I know this week it was a bit fair for Geregu.
Geregu, yes.
Yes, but what about other... I know that's okay. What about Seplat Energy this week, actually? Because we know, yes, last week they celebrated their 10 years at the stock exchange. But looking at their shares, yes, they've done remarkably well. So, do we see anything affecting them health-wise in the market?
No, they are fine. They are fine.
Okay,
they are fine.
It's just with the energy sector. Yes. Okay. So now with Geregu Power. Their shares this week, do you really see them trading on a positive note or a negative note?
I don't think so that they are going to trade on a positive position due to, if you look at the new tariff that was increased by the power sector, that makes most companies to be unable to do what? To come out with their productions.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
So that will affect the market negatively. If the tariff that was increased with, well, I say 1,000% or so, just come and increase that will not make most companies not be able to meet up. So that will affect the market negatively.
Okay. Now, dragging down, we are still on that actually. What actions can the Central Bank of Nigeria take to stabilize the market and restore investor confidence?
Actually, prior to that, in 2018, when the market has a crash and everything went down the way it went, but then there is no full regulation and a lot of things were there. But now I think the full regulation has been put in place, and the only way Central Bank can come in to restore investors' confidence is to reduce the lending rates. Okay. The lending rate to investors who can actually approach the bank and get a loan for a specific amount, that is for 1%, and they'll be able to come to the market to boost the investor, to boost the market.
Well, you know, the reason they increased the interest rates was to combat inflation.
Yes.
And in the long term, it's been speculated that, yes, they will definitely bring down this interest rates. It
is speculation. We are talking, you know, in the capital market, we deal with fact and figures. We deal with fact and figures. So when we are talking about this, they also said they are going to reduce, but it has not been reduced. Yes. It's affecting the market negatively.
Now, in the week ending Friday, 19th April, 13 equities appreciated in price during the week, lower than 19 equities in the preceding week. Now, what does this hold for the equities markets? With this 13 equities appreciated, 19 equities did not appreciate. So, does it still mean that investors are confident enough to invest in the equities?
Investors are confident, but the only thing is that profit takers will not allow the market to breathe.
Okay. That's true. We mentioned profit takers earlier on. Yes, because of they have their own ways of manipulating the market figures. Yes, and you want to say something else?
What I want to say is that the reason why you need the experts to come in, because they know when to go in, they know when to exit. Okay. We call something proprietary trading, where companies set out money to trade for themselves. They have the research department that does that to know exactly when to go in and when to come in. So when they come in at a lower price and they make more profit, they exit and leave the stocks to other people to trade with. So therefore, they have made their profit. So that is one of the confidence. That's why you can see 19 against 12.
19 against 13.
13, sorry. Yeah. 19 against 13. So the profit takers are taking their profits. So the market will keep dropping.
Okay, so now, is it possible to predict or quantify the potential impact of unforeseen events, like maybe a technological breakthrough or natural disasters in the stock markets? Just looking at how the markets will fare, maybe still on our speculation case.
Well, Like if I will go back to the time of COVID,
Yeah, we never saw that coming.
we never saw it coming.
Yes.
But it happens. But the market breathes. The market survives without it. So natural disasters, the technology has gone so wide that you can work anywhere, you can work at home, you can do hybrid. So natural disasters should not, if you are not having access to your, let me give an example. Yeah. For those who trade on the on the NGX, on a daily basis, yes, and they don't trade remotely. And for instance, they are coming and there is water everywhere, maybe the sea overflow and they don't come to the market. Does it mean they are not going to trade for that day? No, they will go back and trade. So natural disaster, I don't think it disturbs the market to operate.
Okay, now the recent stock market decline, now still on that, can be interpreted of a sign, can it be interpreted of a sign of an impending recession, or are there any other factors at play?
If I may answer that, no, there's no any recession taking place. It's just the market is reacting to information.
Okay, like you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Yes, but because we've seen cases like this happen in the past with stock markets and with how banks are faring, how companies are faring, and we also talked about that briefly, that health-wise, you said most companies are fine. We talked about the energy sector, we talked about the banking sector, they are fine. But let's talk about with agricultural products that are currently on the stock market or the capital market now. So how are these companies going to fare this new week? How do you think they'll fare this new week, considering how the market closed last week? With okay, I mentioned Dangote Rice and Dangote Sugar. So what other companies, how do you think they will fare this week in the market as for agricultural companies? Okay.
Well, if I'm going to look at that, we have to look at it holistically, like I said. If you look at it downward, I don't think there's going to be a major input. How do I mean? Agricultural sectors have been struggling to survive in our country.
Yes.
And if you look at it, come to the herdsmen, the Fulani herdsmen, that is not allowing the farmers to get to what? To the farm in order for them to be able to produce products from the farm. That is affecting the agricultural sector from the background. So coming to the market to trade on agricultural sector, you are finding it difficult. They are struggling, in other words, for them to even meet up to trade on their particular, what do we call it now, on their particular produce. So I don't see that there's going to be any positive change for this week.
Okay, so it's still going to remain as usual.
As usual.
Okay, before we take a short break right now, let's just round up now. How do you want investors to trade this week? Like you mentioned, they need to take advice from their stockbrokers. But apart from that, what other advice will you give to investors on how to trade this new week? The best way to trade this week is just for you to be calm and look at the position, the direction the market is going before you lock in your trade. I think that's the only advice I can give to the brokers, to the investors, sorry. We know all over the world, countries are moving towards the renewable energy option. But in Nigeria, and in terms of economic growth, now how can renewable energy help to actually boost jobs in this part of the world, in Nigeria to be precise? Okay, thank you very much. It's a very good question that you have put to me. Actually, you know, Nigeria is oil-driven. Yes. And change is the problem we have in this country. We don't want to change. We are used to this PMS called petroleum, driving our cars, fueling our generators, and what have you. And this emission caused by all this disturb the climate. If we can embrace the use of solar energy, it will create more jobs for our youth who are traveling abroad. They don't need that. Yeah. All the government just needs to do is to make sure our economy is stable, power supply, and every other thing that we need to ensure that this country is in good condition. How do I mean? If we have a solar energy, our car is being driven by solar energy, I mean, it will save for more cost, and it will enhance more job for our youth and for other people for other children who are coming up. Because this is a new innovation that will encourage the economy, that will facilitate every other, what will I put it now, stakeholder in this solar energy in order for them to be able to get a new job, and it will help us a lot. But the change is our problem because the government himself derive income from petroleum produce. So they don't want, there is risk involved. They are afraid of the risk of, why will I put it now? We are going to lose so much billions. We are going to lose so much if we move away from a petroleum car to a solar car. And they are forgetting that that is where most, what do we call it now, most country is moving into. Okay, now how do we actually, like, this transition is something that will benefit our economy. Now recently in the news, it was actually reported that the president President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has recently approved the use of the CNG, compressed natural gas, I beg your pardon, to actually power our cars. So there's actually this drive towards renewable energy in terms of getting in more CNG vehicles. It has also been improved as buses and tricycles, over 5,500 of them, and conversion kits, over 20,000 CNG conversion kits. So it actually appears that our president and the federal government is in support of this move to renewable energy. So what are your thoughts on this, Mr. Olanrewaju?
Well, it's a good innovation, and it's a good idea for the president to embrace this. It's a very good one. And so in our country, the deficiency we have is when they implement policy, no monitoring, no supervisory, and every other thing. If this has been approved and they can monitor it, they can enforce it, they can make sure it comes to stay, I mean, we all will enjoy it.
Sure.
Not saying, he will say, okay, it has been approved. Would they bring it to limelight? Will it exist? Will it stay? Those are the questions we should ask ourselves. There are many policies there are many approval that has been going on and nothing is being found. Okay. So if they can enforce it, monitor it, supervise it, and make sure it works, at least every one of us will enjoy it.
Okay, that's very true. Yes, every single one of us will enjoy it. Now, what are the biggest challenges to transitioning from a renewable energy-based economy? Because right now we know we actually use electricity, the regular one powered by our hydro dams, and then we also have the use of PMS to power our vehicles. So now what are the biggest challenges to transitioning to a renewable energy-based economy in Nigeria, for example?
Wow, the challenges are enormous.
Okay, let's start then.
One, the first thing is, do they have the capital to do it? The finance, do they have it? Are they going to finance with a loan, a borrowed fund, with higher interest rates? Those are the questions I'm asking. Because the reason why I'm asking this question is, you want to do a transition, you want to move from one particular position to another place. It requires finance. Now, the finance you want to use is a borrowed fund from the bank at a higher interest rate. That will not work. Because you are paying the bank the interest rate, you at the same time you want to service it with a new innovation. I don't know how it's going to work.
Okay, boss, in the event that this has been approved by the federal government, don't you think that will actually ease this transition?
That will actually ease if the fund is available. That will actually make it easy and it will come to limelight if there are available funds by the federal government.
Okay, so apart from capital, what other things do you think as citizens of this country, we actually need to be educated on the benefits of renewable energy?
Like I told you, change is the most difficult things for, I don't want to say for everybody, for us in Nigeria. What we know is that this is the entrance. We don't want to take another entrance. We don't want to encourage, or we don't want to take the idea from another person. Somebody bringing such innovation that, okay, this is the right thing, this is what is obtainable in developed country, this is what is obtainable outside the country, and it is working for them. If you come to Nigeria, they will tell you, I can remember when the use of cell phone came to Nigeria, 3310, those days, that will get there. Some people will say, no, it's draining blood, you don't bring it, they will abandon, they will not make use of it. So they need to be educated, they need to be given what will I call it now? A good orientation about it before they can implement it. So Nigeria needs a good, education background, because if you look at the educational sectors now, they are still having issues. So we need to educate them, we need to teach them on how to make use of all these things before we implement it.
Okay, apart from education, also another very important factor that should be considered. Now, we know that this is something that will benefit us. Yes, in the urban centers, let me say, because of how developed a city like Lagos is, for example, it might be welcomed here. But in the rural areas, do you really think it might take a while before people accept this kind of change, or they will also welcome it easily?
They will not welcome it easily. They will not. They will not.
Really?
Because they are not exposed. They see it as a threat. I told you Nigerians are very difficult to change. The moment you bring the idea, they will used to be scared for them. No, don't bring it. This is how we used to do it. I used to do this. Don't bring this. You want to take this from us. So it will be a big challenge. Okay. A big challenge. But it's actually achievable.
Okay, well, we look forward to this kind of energy being used, especially with wind, sun, and rain, with something that we have in abundance here in this part of the world. So now how can governments incentivize businesses and consumers to adopt renewable energy solutions? Like, what steps do you think the government should take to...
Publicity.
Okay, more publicity.
More publicity. That solves the problem. Awareness.
one government can key into these two things, more publicity, awareness, and what have you. I think that solves the problem. Everybody will embrace it. But in Nigeria, we need enforcement. If you tell a typical Nigerian man that this is the way to it, he will tell you no. So you need to enforce before you accept. And that is how we are wired in this part of the world.
Okay. Now, we know that this energy sector is going to serve as an option, maybe not fully, maybe at the start, at the first stage, maybe we can be using it side by side with what we have with electricity right now. But now, how can renewable energy sector be made more accessible to small and medium-sized enterprises, for small and medium-sized businesses? We
have to look at, what would I say, price reduction. That's a major fact, because if the price of a solar, I'm just using solar as an example, is acceptable by a low-income earner, everybody will embrace it. But the minimum wage is 30,000 naira for a man to feed his family. Let's even say a gate man. And the solar energy is 300,000, so it is not accessible. But if it is like 5,000, 6,000, everybody will embrace it. And when they embrace it, it works. Everybody enjoys it. And when they even embrace it, it's a risk factor. If you never embrace it, doesn't work. 30,000 out of 30,000, you are losing 5,000. So it's a little bit, but no, it's not going to take a weight. So they have to make it what a price cheaper for other people to be able to embrace it.
Okay, now how can financial risk associated with transitioning to renewable energy infrastructure be mitigated? Because
if you are looking at the mitigant factor, there are many mitigant factors that can be applied to that. Now, if you look at it from the angle of what is English that I need to borrow?
Okay, if you are coming from the layman's.
If you are coming from the layman's view of it, it is very important to consider two things. One, how will I make it work? Two, the resources to be, where do I get the resources from? Those are the factors that you need to consider. When you consider these two factors and bring them together, then the mitigant factors have been taking place. Then we talk of the actualization. How do you now actualize it to make it work according to your plan? Do you get that?
Yes, I do.
So, how do you not actualize? You need the manpower, you need the resources to get it done. So, how do you get all this? How do you put all these two things together to ensure that it's in place? Those are the things I think you need to get to so that you can get it going.
Okay, that's very true, actually. Okay, now, so actually, where do you get the resources from? You know, I said we're blessed with the natural resources in this country to achieve this, so it's not something that it's far-fetched. And like I mentioned earlier on, the president's, what he actually directed them to do, that the approval for CNG buses has also been approved, and the conversion kits, over 20,000 conversion kits has also been given. So I think the resources are there. We have the natural resources, the federal government's approval, so I don't think, and actualization, I think it's going to be more of in the fact that trying to educate people and create more publicity and more awareness to the benefits of renewable energy. Because if it has been approved by the federal government, it doesn't really need anybody to be trying to convince our government on the benefits. They have approved it, they have seen the benefits of it. So I think it's just less with enlightening the citizenry of the benefits of this energy. So it doesn't really have to be all about, oh, how will I get the tools for this or the resources for this? Or what do you think about this?
Well, since for what you have just said now, from what my take home here is that since that has been approved and we have the natural resources in place, just to get the professionals or to get those who know about it, bring them on board and let them put it in place so that we can all enjoy it.
Okay, very true. So, so now beyond job creation, how can renewable energy revolution ensure a just transition for workers in the traditional energy sectors?
Apart from work, apart from job creation, yes. There are still other benefits like, how do I put it? Other job benefits.
Yes, in terms of, you know, the kits, like for example, let's talk about the batteries that are used for these solar panels. We know that a very key ingredient for building these batteries is lithium, and it's something that can be gotten in the northern parts of Nigeria. So don't you think creating factories that can build this lithium in large quantities will also help to create more awareness for the usage of solar panels, for example, and to make it more affordable for more homes all over the country?
If they embrace that, and those in the manufacturing sector are ready to commit their funds in order to create such company, it gives more, how do I put it now? It gives more this thing to the country as a whole. It gives more light to the company. In other words, that apart from creating job, other foreign investors too may want to key in other words, to boost the economy, because they believe in it and they know it's going to work. So to me, it's a very good idea if someone is ready to commit his fund in order to what? To put such company in place.
Okay, now looking at our capital market, now the energy companies that are there, you know, not too many of them are actually using this renewable energy and telling their shareholders, okay, come and invest. This is the new energy option we have right here. So would you recommend that more energy companies trading on our stock markets key into this energy option of renewable energy?
Yes, I will, because foreign investors are already showing interest in this energy companies, because they believe in it and they know that this is a new innovation that is, how do I say, that is trending. So the foreign investors just need to see how we go about it before they commit their funds. So if we can make, if the company is actually doing well, there's no reason why the foreign investors will not come in.
Okay, that's true actually. So if we get in more, not just foreign investors, shareholders
too, exactly, shareholders and foreign investors, domestic and foreign, everyone will come in. Because all they want to do is the performance of the company. Once the company is doing well and their annual report is stating the true fare of this position, why will everybody will want to invest in such company that is making profit? But a company that is not making profit, that is not declaring dividend, that is not declaring scrip receipts, nobody wants to welcome with such company.
Okay, that's very true. Okay, yes, back to what happened last week on the trading floor when Seplat Energy was celebrating its 10 years of listing. The CEO, Roger Brown, mentioned that the company will also be moving towards gas as a renewable energy option to power its resources. And they also want, as an option, to be used side by side with electricity. So now, I'm quite sure when this is actually actualized, when this has come to the forefront, I'm sure the shareholders will also be more invested in this energy company. So what are your thoughts on this? My thought is,
once it comes to limelight, shareholders, foreign investors, they will actually come in with a good motive by investing more, because they know when they invest in that company, they will get good return on investment. So I hope so that they should come so soon to the market and let foreign investors and domestic shareholders invest in their
this. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Mr. Olanrewaju Lawal, and it was great having you on the program this morning as we talked about how the capital market traded last week and what we expect this new week. Yes, we're actually making some speculations as to what we expect, and we hope it will end on a positive note this week on the trading floor, and also for sharing your thoughts on the renewable energy option and what we stand to benefit from it. So that's our time with Mr. Olanrewaju Lawal as we discuss these issues today on Markets Insights. So, but before we round up, let's take a look at our money markets, how the selling rates of the dollars, the pound sterling, and the euro this morning. So we look at the Central Bank of Nigeria rates and the parallel market rates this morning. So first of all, we start with the dollars. Now, this is a new week starting. Today is 22nd April. So how is the dollar faring this week? So this week at the Central Bank of Nigeria, where the dollar is selling for 1,010 naira at the CBN rate, and at the parallel market rate, the dollar is selling for 1,115 naira. The pound sterling this week is selling for 1,270 naira at this CBN rate, and the parallel market rate is 1,500 naira for the pound sterling, and the euro is selling for 1,097 naira at the CBN rate, and the parallel market rate is 1,280 naira. So those are our money market figures this week. Do you have anything to say about this our foreign exchange rate? These are the selling rates for the dollars, pound sterling, and euro for this week. Yes, Mr. Olanrewaju.
Well, what I just need to contribute more today is that Naira is doing well, is appreciating at a fast rate, and I believe maybe with some time it will do better. So my advice is Naira should keep appreciating.
Yes, that's a good one. Naira should keep appreciating, definitely. Thank you so much for watching Market Insight this morning as we discuss these issues. And my guest was also here to help to also shed more light on these issues concerning the capital market and the renewable energy sector. So that was our time this morning on Market Insight. Thank you so much for watching, and do stay tuned to news updates on SOUQ News Television. I am Lavina Emma. Many thanks for watching.